I caught a cheater and played him at his own game. Someone I knew as a friend from my younger years found me on social media. Some 20 years later, PSA: if you haven't known them during the past 5, 10, 20 plus years, you don't know them anymore. He lived nearby, and we reconnected in real life. It was really great. At first, his wit and humor made me laugh harder than I thought I would ever be able to do again. We got along like a house on fire. Eventually we started seeing each other. I got a somewhat mixed blessing from one of his former girlfriends, a woman I've known all my life. She told me that he had some major problems earlier in his life, lost one of his babies to meningitis, and is a recovering addict. She also said, because of what you've already been through before with cheaters, I know you don't want to go through that again. He will never cheat on you. He has not ever been that kind of man, and I don't think he ever will be. I was wearing rose-colored glasses, so those red flags just looked like flags to me. Stupidly, I didn't run away from this dude while things were going nicely. I was trying to enjoy my life again, and he made me laugh. Stupid, but happy. For a time, my life itself is like a warning against all of those saccharine live, laugh, love signs. Do you know what a relief it had been to receive a blessing like that from a former girlfriend? Her saying to me he will never cheat on you felt like getting a gold star. I started wondering if I could actually build a future with him, and not be paranoid about walking in on him with someone, or being dumped for the other woman, etc. I remember that I had a conversation with him about the concept of fidelity, faithfulness. I said to him, if we are connected physically, I am sharing my life and my body's health with you, and only you. If you don't want that, or if you're ever interested in someone else, please end it with me first. If you ever cheat on me, it will crush me. If you care about me at all, don't ever do that to me, and don't ever lie to me. If you ever lie to me, I'll never believe anything you say to me again. I didn't ask him to promise those things to me, but he made a promise to me. I don't know why, but that made it feel worse. Later on, after a while of seeing him, his behavior was becoming strange to me. We would make plans to visit each other and he would be caught up elsewhere, late, etc. He started giving me excuses that didn't sound believable. My intuition gut feeling was triggered, and I knew that something was up, just didn't know what it was. And then came the day that I saw a text come in on his phone, an obvious reply to something else from earlier. His phone was locked, so I could only see what was on the screen. The message was from a name I didn't recognize, and seemed to be written in a type of coded language that I didn't understand. I asked him about it later, and he brushed it off as if I was just being nosy and that his friend was just a weirdo. This happened a few more times until I got the clue that he was using drugs. Since drugs have never been a part of my life, it took me some sleuthing and research and time before it made sense to me what was happening. My grade school just say no to drugs education did not teach me how to spot the behaviors I was seeing. I had to learn it firsthand. Eventually I caught him in flagrante. When he used my computer to check his email, and he forgot to log out, I saw hundreds of emails with subject lines that I didn't need to see. God, why do some people forget to log out? He had been using nice photos that I took of him, as his profile pictures on at least half a dozen different dating hookup websites. If it wasn't bad enough that he was trying to date or hook up with other people, he was using the best photos that I took of him, when we were both dressed up and out with each other on a date. It pissed me off to no end. My intuition gave me the nudge to check Craigslist personals and scroll through the ads with photos in them. It was disgusting and traumatized me, but sure enough I found an ad with a photo of his dick. Let me tell you, this guy has a distinctive dick. He has vitiligo down there. And as it turned out, he really was not joking with me in the earlier days of seeing each other. When he said he was half black, me, what do you mean, half black? You're as white as they come. Him, you haven't seen my dick yet. I was so mad at him for deceiving me, that I decided I would beat him at his own game. I could cry about it later. For now, revenge. I took screenshots of all of the damning evidence, in case I should need it later. Fake email account, check. Fake phone text number using an app, check. I responded to his ad, playing the role of Robbie Thundercock. I sent him a dick pic that I downloaded from one of the other Craigslist ads. He apparently believed it, and wanted to hook up ASAP, do speed, and get his freak on. He told me Robbie where his neighborhood was, and asked when we could get together. We set a date and time and meet up spot behind a gas station near his home. Trap set. Later on I texted him and asked if I could see him, the night of the fated date time when he was scheduled to meet up with Robbie Thundercock. I gave him a chance to come clean and tell me the truth. He lied to me without hesitation and made up a story about why he wouldn't be home and wouldn't be available. I wish I could remember exactly what it was, but whatever it was, it sounded believable enough, just like all of his other stories. I realized in that moment that everything he had ever been telling me up until that point was all lies. So, when the date time of meet and cheat came, I scoped him out at the rendezvous point. I watched him for a few minutes standing there waiting, looking for a truck and a person who didn't exist, mustered my courage, then I flipped on my headlights and headed towards him. I pulled up alongside him and rolled down my window. His look of shock and awe was deeply satisfying. Him: "What are you doing here, Mama Empath?" Me: "Hi, I am Robbie Thundercock, let's party." Him with the duck. All the blood drained from his face. He started shaking his face like I just broke his brain CPU. "Me, I told you never to cheat on me or lie to me. You're an asshole. And if you ever try to make it out like I am the bad guy here, I am going to expose you." I told him I took screenshots of everything I had found. He didn't know about everything, so I just named off some of the dating sites apps I could recall off the top of my head. "I have all of it." He turned on his heel and walked away from me as quickly as possible. I drove home, mastered resting bitch face. Obviously I don't need or want to be a sexual apex predator. I just wanted to have a life that wouldn't have turned me into a bitter nihilist. Since it's too late for that, you all get to read this. Anyone who cheats on a loved one should consider that they may be cheating on a woman like me. Summary: caught my boyfriend trying to hook up with drugs dudes on Craigslist, so I collected evidence screenshots, and then responded to his ad as if I was someone else. The type he was after, a man. We exchanged dick pics, later on made a date, and then it was I who rolled up, instead of the one he was expecting, and I told him that I have evidence, just in case he wanted to badmouth me later on. Hit like if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing to our channel.